It's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my channel, lovelies. Today I'll be continuing a series on my channel that deals with natal chart analysis, and today I will be doing one on Hailey Baldwin Bieber, and I'll be speaking on her personality traits, her characteristic traits, a lot of the things that she's been successful in based off of her placement. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Please also make sure that you hit that like button because I know you guys will love this video. And last but not least, please make sure you share this video with everyone you know. So let's get right into the video, lovelies. Hailey Baldwin Bieber was born on November 22nd, 1996, so this qualifies her to be a Sagittarius. And with this placement, she tends to be gifted with an abundance of warmth, energy, and positivity. This comes from her being a fire sign and also her being a mutable sign. Mutable signs do tend to be very warm. She's also someone who tends to be very much educated and loves to learn more about different things. She really values independence, and she is someone who's a very free-spirited person. And that comes with Sagittarius energy because they love to be free-spirited. They love to live life once. They're very much yellow type of people, and they do tend to always like to be idealistic. So this really describes Hailey. Next up is her moon in Aries, and with this placement she tends to be someone who's very honest in regards to how she feels about a situation, and she's also someone who, when you're dealing with her, you're going to know how she feels on something. She's not very secretive. She's going to be honest about what she feels. She's someone who's very adventurous. She's someone who can be impulsive and reactive, but she's someone who's very passionate. She's someone who's very optimistic. She's someone who's very fun to be around, very energetic. She may be short-tempered, and she may need action and restlessness, and she's the type of person who will move on quickly from a situation. And that really describes her because I remember a few days ago she was talking about the Selena Gomez and Justin situation, and she was talking about how she would love people to move on. So this really does connect with her moon in Aries a lot. Next up is her Sagittarius Mercury, and even though some people, well, in astrology, this isn't the best placement to have, but with this placement, she tends to always be enthusiastic and very uplifting. She is a natural learner and a natural teacher. She is someone who really loves philosophy and loves going deeper into what the meaning of things are. She's very frank. She's verbally eloquent, but she can be sometimes tactless with her speech. She's a great entertainer, and she will talk a lot, and she will talk about different topics that people may or may not want to hear about. She communicates strongly, but does not always speak clearly. And this is what makes this placement not great because sometimes she will not be able to articulate how she feels in a good way. She's excellent at learning languages. She has positive motivation, and she's always going to speak what's on her mind. Next up is her Venus in Libra, and with this placement, this is actually great because Venus is ruled by Libra, and she's the type of person who loves to give her all in a relationship. She's very charming, she's very sociable, she's very elegant, she's very artistic, and she's very balanced, and she also wants someone who's just like that towards her as well. She does have polished manners and can make her seem superficial at times. She's very gentle and may be easily offended. She does her best to keep the peace and treat others fairly. She tends to choose the middle ground. She is often taken advantage of, but she's not someone who likes to confront people easily. She is someone who does not like rude or tactless behavior, and it really turns her off. She's very romantic, very sociable. She falls in love easy, and she gives good advice based off this placement. Next up is her Mars in Virgo. And with this placement, she is someone who is going to take charge in any situation, but it's going to be in a more calculated way and in a way that she'll be able to understand who she is. She is someone who has a developed intelligence that makes her very smart. She's someone who's very patient and very diligent in regards to making things in life or doing things in life. She's going to make sure that she not only looks at the present, but she looks at the future. So she's willing to work as hard as she needs to in order for her to develop something in the future. She does have a strength of the will. She's very attentive, and she loves to organize her life perfectly. She loves to achieve any goal and success in any business, especially when it deals with intellectual knowledge. She's someone who's very adaptable, and that makes sense because it's a mutable sign, and this really benefits her because she'll be able to do different things. Next up is her Jupiter in Capricorn, and with this placement, she tends to be someone who loves to gain wisdom and experience to add to her tried and true methods. She's someone who is going to be very dedicated in what she wants to do, and she has a lot of discretion in regards to what she wants to do as well. She tends to feel that the only results that are worthwhile are the results that are concrete and being able to demonstrate those results. She is someone who doesn't really trust a lot of things in life in regards to the way people do things. So she's the person who has excellent organizational skills and planning skills because she doesn't really trust others to do that for her. She's very optimistic as well as practical and realistic when it comes to things that cannot happen, but she's very reasonable and she considers it a personal weakness to be wrong about anything. Next up is her Saturn in Aries, and with this placement, she tends to be someone who has a lot of diligence and a lot of modesty, and some of the things that she'll have an obstacle in, because Saturn deals with obstacles, would be very prominently early in life. That can decrease when she gets older, but she does have the strength of having great ambition and willpower to get through anything. With this placement, she may also be someone who will get physical ailments such as headaches and dental problems, because with Saturn placement, including the house, you'll be able to see the type of problems or health issues you may have. So that's something that she may come across in her life. And I remember a few months ago, she did have something that was going on with her brain. So that's something that can correlate with this placement. Next up is her Uranus in Aquarius, and this is actually a very great placement in regards to Aquarius because it's actually ruled by Uranus. So with this placement, she's going to be someone who takes up social causes and find ways of showing a complex issue such as poverty or injustice, and that's something that she will really like to do. And she's someone who will look at her peer group as well as reformers of heart. She wants to make positive changes that will benefit society as a whole. She's willing to devote her time and energy to see that they come about, especially if the proper group support and combined purpose of will can be found. And she is careful that her devotion to group goals does not produce too much friction or neglect in her own personal goals and one-on-one relationships. Next up is her Neptune and Capricorn. And with this placement, she tends to focus on ways to increase her power, wealth, and influence. She's someone who idealizes work, and she's practical and has the ability to attain reasonable goals. But because she will also stress the need to be selfless and giving, she may find it difficult to attain her goals unless she has lowered her expectations on all fronts. And this is actually something that she does do a lot. She does accomplish a lot of things. And a lot of it has been helped because a lot of her family have been rich, so she's been able to go into different opportunities. But she is someone who's very practical, and she is reasonable with her goals, and she does do different things like shows, podcasts, in order for her to increase her wealth and influence. So that's something that really does match her. Next up is her Pluto and Sagittarius, and she's been able to get this placement because she was born between 1995 and 2008, so that's someone who is Generation Z. This generation has a lot to do with freedom, experimenting, exploring, and having risk. They're the types of people who are very optimistic, and they do have a thrill of living and possibilities. And they're the types of people who talk about globalization, immigration, and foreign issues. They're also the type of generation that's always on the search to add to their wealth of knowledge and for their own enjoyment. This makes sense because Sagittarius placements do want to learn more about people and learn more about things just for fun. And they're the types of people who will cherish beliefs that can be really changing for society. Next up is her North Node in Libra, and in order for her to accomplish all of her goals and being able to get everything or the gifts she needs to accomplish those goals, she will need to do this. She'll need to have a lot of cooperation with others. She will need to have diplomacy and tact, increasing awareness of others' needs, selflessness, giving support without expecting anything in return, creating a win-win situation, sharing, seeing things through other people's eyes, communicating her self-identity, learn to listen to those around her, put her energy into building relationships that last, identify with the diplomat within, create beauty and harmony in her environment, learn to connect and share with others, begin to compromise for her own happiness and fulfillment, and not be so independent and disconnected from others. Next up is her Chiron in Libra, and with this placement, she may have the wound of relationships. That's something that she has to work on, because since this is in the Libra placement, she's the type of person who wants to be cool with everyone, and she wants to have great relationships with everyone. So she's the type of person who's going to make sure that she has great relationships with everyone and not have enemies. However, at times this can be a conflict of interest for her, and this at times can be very difficult because you want to be friends with everyone and you want to support everyone. However, at the same time, she has to make sure that she has good relationships, because if she's just siding with everyone, then she's not going to have relationships that she's very close to. She's just going to be friends with everyone on a surface level. So that's something she'll need to work on, in learning how to create relationships and being okay with expressing her opinions in certain situations. Next up is her Ascendant/Rising in Sagittarius, and with this placement, she tends to be someone that is very liberal, very optimistic, very humanist, very, at times, can be extreme. She is someone who is adventurous. She's someone who's very lucky. She's very indulgent, and she's very carefree. She's also someone who is an explorer, who loves to explore and travel. She may be restless and active, and this does come from her being a fire sign. She's very direct, and sometimes it can seem as though she's being tactless. She's very natural in optimism. She loves to share her opinions. She's very lighthearted and charismatic. She needs for freedom and independence. She likes for everyone to be happy around her, and she's going to try her best to make sure that happens. She's very curious, and she's very self-confident in herself. Last but not least is her midheaven in Virgo. And with this placement, she tends to want to be in a career that's very analytical, and that will help her be able to challenge in a way that probably other placements wouldn't want to be challenged in. But Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so they love that mental stimulation and that mental challenge. So they do tend to have an analytical mind that will help bring order and improve situations, whether large or small. They're also the type of people who would love to be associated with working in different things in regards to maybe anything in the science area, because they have a lot of thinking to do and analytical things to do. They're also the type of people who love to be in puzzling situations so they can figure out a way to fix situations. So this is what would explain her career. Thank you guys so much for all your support and watching this natal chart analysis on Hailey Bieber. Please let me know down below, did you learn more about her, get a better understanding as to who she is as a person? Also, please make sure down below you drop who else you guys would want me to do a natal chart analysis on. And please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Also hit that like button and that share button. And if you have not yet followed me on all of my social media accounts, please make sure you're doing so, from my Pinterest down to my TikTok. And also please make sure you're supporting my PayPal and my Etsy store, and everything is linked down below. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.